Madara Uchiha and Kaguya, who were by far Naruto's most powerful villains, both made the show worse instead of elevating it. While Madara was mentioned in Naruto Shippuden's first episode, it was only in the latter half of the show that the character finally appeared. It took even more time for Kaguya to be introduced. The all-powerful alien creature only showed up in Naruto Shippuden episode 460. And yet, by the time of their respective introductions in the anime, these characters subtracted from the show rather than adding to it. Well-developed, almost sympathetic villains have always been one of Naruto's strengths. The very first two villains in the series, Haku and Zabuza, already showed how Naruto would treat its antagonists. They were real people with sincere motives and who could even be redeemed. Naruto Shippuden's time jump expanded the universe in a significant way, but the villains remained a highlight of the show. While not as redeemable and sympathetic as the villains in Part 1 of the anime, each of the Akatsuki members received enough screen time to be developed in a way that made them even more menacing. Contrary to all those qualities, Madara Uchiha and Kaguya were introduced as being so absurdly powerful that they often seemed more like a video game final boss than actual characters, and this diminished their impact on the story. Madara collected almost every special technique Naruto had established, including but not limited to Rinnegan, Perfect Susanoo, Wood Style, Rinne Sharingan, not to mention Infinite Chakra, Immortality, and the ability to become the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Kaguya managed to be even more overpowering, as the princess of the Otsutsuki clan was responsible for giving humans the ability to use chakra. All of this made Madara and Kaguya virtually unbeatable, meaning that there was never a true sense of stakes involved as there was no logical way to defeat them. Neither Madara nor Kaguya ever left the battlefield, and the only look at these characters' motives and personalities the show presented was through flashbacks. One criticism with the final part of Naruto is that the show leaned into Dragon Ball Z-style action instead of the usual pace, and this is something Madara and Kaguya perfectly illustrated. The Uchiha Ancient Shinobi and the Alien Princess did offer remarkable action sequences, such as Madara versus the Shinobi Alliance, but their roles as Naruto's final antagonists made the show worse because they lacked everything else that a Naruto villain used to have. After Pain's incredibly well-thought-out arc proved that Naruto could have an extremely powerful villain that still felt like a three-dimensional character, the way that the show dealt with Madara and Kaguya was disappointing. Now the focus was on the villains' absurd powers rather than on who they were as characters. The escalation of the Akatsuki members' power levels had always been a part of Naruto Shippuden, but the leap from Pain to Madara, and later the leap from Madara to Kaguya, was so huge that it made almost every other major character feel weak in comparison, including all of Naruto's previous Hokages. The fact that Madara and Kaguya were virtually invincible also created a dead end for the script, making the resolutions of their stories underwhelming. Madara and Kaguya's tremendous powers were not equally paired with great writing, and that ended up making the show worse. After all the memorable Naruto villains and their well-developed storylines, Naruto Shippuden deserved a final antagonist that was more than just a god like Shinobi. If anything, the Pain arc should have been used as inspiration as to how to convey a villain that is as well-developed as they are powerful,